Cuba. The very name conjures up images of vintage cars, salsa rhythms, and sun-drenched beaches. Tourists flock to this Caribbean island, lured by its vibrant culture and alluring charm. They come to experience the lively music, the rich history, and the warm hospitality of the Cuban people. The streets of Havana, with their colorful facades and classic American cars, paint a picture of a place frozen in time, a nostalgic glimpse into a bygone era. But beyond the facade of paradise, a different reality unfolds. A reality of hidden struggles, economic hardship, and a constant fight for basic necessities. The picturesque streets often mask the worn buildings and the scarcity that many Cubans face daily. Markets with empty shelves and long lines for basic goods tell a story of a nation grappling with shortages and economic challenges. This is the Cuba rarely seen in travel brochures, the Cuba experienced daily by its resilient people. Families make do with limited resources, often relying on their ingenuity to repair old appliances and stretch their supplies. The spirit of the Cuban people shines through in their ability to adapt and persevere, even in the face of adversity. This is the story of their everyday lives, a story of resilience in the face of adversity, of resourcefulness amidst scarcity, and of an enduring hope for a brighter future. Street vendors find creative ways to make a living, and families come together to support one another, showcasing a community that thrives on solidarity and mutual aid. And amidst all this, there is hope. Hope seen in the eyes of children playing in the streets, in the laughter shared among neighbors, and in the gatherings that bring the community together. It is a story that deserves to be told, a story that peels back the layers of perception to reveal the true heart of Cuba, a heart that beats on despite the odds, a testament to the human spirit's remarkable capacity to endure. The Cuban flag waves proudly, symbolizing the strength and determination of a people who continue to hope and strive for a better tomorrow. This is the real Cuba, a land of contrast, challenges, and unwavering resilience. In today's interconnected world, the internet is more than just a luxury. It's a lifeline. It connects us to information, opportunities, and each other, making it an essential part of modern life. But for Cubans, accessing this digital world is a constant struggle. The challenges they face are multifaceted, ranging from technological limitations to governmental restrictions. While the government boasts of growing internet penetration, the reality on the ground is far more complex. The infrastructure is outdated and the cost of access is prohibitively high for many. Imagine a life where checking your email requires a trip to a government-controlled Wi-Fi hotspot, where you have to sit in a crowded park just to get a signal, where every click comes at a cost, both financially and in terms of personal freedom, and where the watchful eye of censorship dictates what you can and cannot see. The government monitors online activity, making privacy a rare commodity. This is the daily reality for most Cubans. The internet, instead of being a tool for connection and information, becomes a source of frustration and inequality. The internet, instead of being a tool for connection and information, becomes a source of frustration and inequality. Slow speeds and frequent outages make even the simplest tasks difficult. Students struggle to complete online assignments, often having to wait hours just to get a stable connection. This hampers their education and limits their future opportunities. Entrepreneurs find their ambitions stifled, unable to compete in a global market due to limited online presence and outdated technology. Their dreams are often curtailed by these digital barriers, and families face barriers in connecting with loved ones abroad. Video calls are often interrupted, and the emotional toll of these disconnections is profound. The digital divide in Cuba is not just about infrastructure, it's about control. The government uses this divide to maintain power, limiting access to information and stifling dissent. It's about limiting access to information, controlling narratives, and stifling dissent. The internet in Cuba is a tool of control, not liberation, and this reality shapes the lives of millions. The aroma of spices, the sizzle of fresh seafood, the sweetness of tropical fruits. Cuban cuisine is renowned for its vibrancy and flavor. The rich culinary traditions of Cuba are a testament to the island's diverse cultural influences and the creativity of its people. From the bustling street food markets to the home kitchens where families gather, food is a central part of Cuban life and identity. Yet behind this culinary tapestry lies a stark reality. Food scarcity is a daily struggle for many Cubans. Despite the vibrant food culture, the availability of ingredients is often limited, and many families find it challenging to put together even the simplest of meals. The contrast between the rich flavors of Cuban cuisine and the scarcity of food is a poignant reminder of the hardships faced by the people. Imagine walking through a supermarket with empty shelves, where basic staples like rice, beans, and cooking oil are in short supply, and the prices, if available, are beyond the reach of ordinary citizens. The frustration and despair of not being able to find or afford essential items is a daily reality for many. The scarcity of food is not just an inconvenience, it is a crisis that affects the health and well-being of the entire population. This is the harsh reality faced by countless families across the island. The struggle to find enough food is a constant source of stress and anxiety. Parents worry about how to feed their children, and the elderly often go without meals. The impact of food scarcity is felt in every aspect of life, from physical health to emotional well-being. The monthly ration book, a symbol of Cuba's socialist system, provides a meager allotment of essential goods, but it's rarely enough to sustain a family. The rations are intended to ensure that everyone has access to basic necessities, but the reality is that they fall short. Families often have to find alternative ways to supplement their rations, whether through bartering, growing their own food, or relying on remittances from relatives abroad. Long queues, often stretching for hours, become a familiar sight as people desperately try to procure basic necessities. The time spent waiting in line is time taken away from work, education, and other important activities. The uncertainty of whether there will be anything left by the time they reach the front of the line adds to the stress and frustration. For many, especially the elderly and those living in poverty, hunger is a constant companion. The lack of adequate nutrition affects their health, making them more vulnerable to illness. The emotional toll of living with food insecurity is profound, leading to feelings of hopelessness and despair. Despite these challenges, the resilience and resourcefulness of the Cuban people shine through as they find ways to cope and support each other in these difficult times. In Cuba, the government's presence is felt in every aspect of daily life. From the ration book that dictates food allotments to the state-controlled media that shapes public opinion, the reach of the government is pervasive. Imagine a life where starting a business requires navigating a labyrinth of bureaucratic hurdles, where expressing dissenting views can lead to censorship or worse, and where the dream of owning a home seems like an impossible aspiration. This is the reality for Cubans living under a system where individual freedoms are often subordinated to the collective good as defined by the state. While the government provides free healthcare and education, these services are often strained and under-resourced. The lack of economic freedom limits opportunities and perpetuates a cycle of dependence on the state. Beyond the picturesque colonial architecture and vibrant street life, Cuba grapples with a more somber reality: crumbling infrastructure. Imagine a city where crumbling buildings are a common sight, where potholes plague the roads, and where water shortages and power outages are a regular occurrence. This is the daily reality for many Cubans. Decades of economic hardship and limited resources have taken their toll, leaving many essential services strained and outdated. While the government has made efforts to improve infrastructure, progress is often slow and uneven. The lack of reliable transportation infrastructure hampers economic growth and limits opportunities for Cubans living outside major urban centers. Section 6. Beyond the tourist gaze: healthcare struggles in Cuba. Cuba boasts a healthcare system often lauded for its universal coverage and focus on preventative care. However, behind the facade of this acclaimed system lies a more complex reality. Imagine hospitals grappling with shortages of basic medical supplies, where patients are forced to bring their own bedding and medication, and where doctors and nurses work tirelessly despite limited resources and outdated equipment. This is the reality for many Cubans who rely on a system strained by economic hardship and the impact of the U.S. embargo. While Cuba has made significant strides in medical research and biotechnology, translating these advancements into accessible and affordable healthcare for all remains a challenge. Section 7. The indomitable spirit, resilience and resourcefulness in Cuba. Despite the myriad challenges they face, the Cuban people exhibit a remarkable spirit of resilience and resourcefulness. Imagine a society where neighbors help each other, where ingenuity trumps scarcity, and where a shared sense of community fosters hope and solidarity. This is the essence of the Cuban spirit. From fixing vintage cars with makeshift parts to creating thriving businesses in the informal economy, Cubans have learned to adapt and improvise. They find joy in music, dance, and art, transforming everyday struggles into expressions of creativity and resilience. It is this indomitable spirit, this ability to find hope and joy amidst adversity, that truly defines the Cuban people. Section 8. A Nation on the Precipice. The Uncertain Future of Cuba. As Cuba navigates the complexities of the 21st century, its future remains uncertain. The country stands at a crossroads, grappling with economic challenges, political transitions, and the ever-present weight of history. Will it continue on its current path, or will it embrace change and reform? Will it find a way to bridge the gap between its socialist ideals and the realities of a globalized world? These are the questions that weigh heavily on the minds of many Cubans. The yearning for greater freedoms, economic opportunities, and a voice in shaping their future is palpable. The path ahead will be fraught with challenges, but the resilience and resourcefulness of the Cuban people offer a glimmer of hope. Section 9. A Call to Understanding, Bridging the Gap Between Perception and Reality. The story of Cuba is a complex tapestry woven from threads of beauty, resilience, struggle, and hope. It is a story that defies easy categorization, demanding a nuanced understanding that goes beyond the romanticized images and simplistic narratives. To truly understand Cuba, one must look beyond the vibrant facades and delve into the lived experiences of its people. It is a call for empathy, for recognizing the shared humanity that binds us all, regardless of geographical boundaries or political ideologies. It is a reminder that behind every struggle, there is a story waiting to be heard, a story that can challenge our perceptions and broaden our understanding of the world around us.